Talking about Zain Durrani, you actually underwent a lot of emotional torture out there. A lot of people, they do know their story, they do know your story, but do you want to like talk us through it and tell us more?
Um, yeah. Okay, so I um, I met Zen in Delhi um, while I was working on the sets of Kick. I was working on Kick, and we were shooting in Delhi, and that's where I met him at some party that we were at, and sort of started seeing each other, dating, and he's wonderful. Anyone that remotely knows him will say that he writes, he's a poet, he cares about the environment, he loves people, he loves children, like he was great. So we sort of hit it off, and we started dating. My family loved him, my mom loved him, my friends loved him, everyone loved him, and it was all amazing till the time that it just wasn't. It sort of happened. I don't know if I'd say it happened out of nowhere. I could have seen, when I look back now, I feel like I could have seen signs where, it was a lot of, when it got toxic, or, there was this one time when there was a fight where, like, it got really ugly. But you tend to let that go. I mean, I think anyone that's been in a relationship where you love someone, you let it go. But then the physical abuse started. And I sort of, I don't know how to really put it, because it's probably one of the hardest things that I've ever done in my life. But I cut off from my friends and everyone around me, because I didn't know how to address it. I didn't know how to address the hitting or the physical abuse, because he was still amazing in front of my friends. He was still nice to my mother. Like, they would cook together and like we'd watch a movie at night. But at the same time, there was so much shit going on that I remember my mom sort of bruised once, and she was like, "What happened?" And I was just like, "I fell down," because we tend to say these lies. And I just got sick of lying, so I stopped talking to people. I stopped talking to all of my friends, and it got really ugly. It started happening too often. It was, I hate going into these details of this particular incident, because it just, but I get it. I feel like there are far too many women out there who go through abuse and then blame themselves for it, and that's exactly what I did. I felt like it was my fault. I felt like he was hitting me because I'd done something wrong, because we fought, and I said something that brought out the monster in him, and hence I had to find a way to fix it. And if I walk out now, then I'm the coward that created this problem, but I don't want to fix it. Because every time he hit me after that, he would cry, he would faint, he would just fall down and stop breathing, and then I had to get him water. And by the time you're consoling the person that's abused you, it's very difficult to get your head around the space that, am I still mad at you? Am I angry that you hit me? Because why am I giving you water and holding your face and saying, are you okay? Whereas I'm the one that went through this. And then he'd be like, I did something, didn't I? Like, I know I've done something. I should burn my hands. And I didn't know how to deal with it. And he just always said that he needed me to fix it. So I stuck around for a very long time till his best friend in Rishikesh saw him hit me for the first time. And that was when he was just like, what are you doing? And his friend had known him since he was 10 years old. So when he fainted in that entire episode there, he was like, this has never happened to him. It's not an anxiety that happens due to work or due to family or due to any other incident, except for when he raises his hands on you. This isn't okay. Like, this shouldn't be happening. I still chose to stay, because I've been wanting to talk about this, where I feel like women tend to stay when it comes to physical abuse, because when you're growing up and you do something wrong as a child and your father hits you or slaps you, we're always told that it's because they love us. It's because they want the best for us and they care about us, and that's why you're okay with physical abuse in the family. And then when you grow up and your partner hits you, your husband or your boyfriend hits you, it's the same. I speak to so many women every day who just say that it's because he loves me. He doesn't want me to do something wrong, and he's trying to protect me, which is why he got angry and he hit me.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how I felt for a while, where I was just like, he must really love me, which is why he gets so angry. I mean, why? Otherwise, he just wouldn't care.
On that note, I just wanted to know, did you ever try talking to him about it? You know, because raising your hand is not exactly a way to go about, especially where you claim to be in love with somebody. So did you ever think that, hey, you know, probably there's a problem, you need to go and get yourself counseled? Any time was that suggestion made?
Yes, so many times. I think his mom's a psychologist, so we used to have discussions about this. Or she's in that space, I'm sure. But we talked about it so many times where I was like, don't you think you should like see someone?
Yeah.
Get help? Because after a point, I didn't feel like I could really fix this. I mean, I felt like if I'm the problem, maybe I can't fix this. And maybe we could go together to see someone. Or we could, I think it got to a space where I was always so angry and like hurt and unsure of what to do, that those, and he was constantly just, it was either not addressing what happened or actually addressing that, yes, I'm a monster, like I'm a horrible person, what I did to you wasn't right, I should burn my hands, I can never live with the man that I've become. And what do you really do with that? Like, the conversation ends when the person accepts that, yes, I'm a horrible person. And then you're like, okay, well, then are you going to be better? And then it would just happen all over again.
And when did you decide that this is it, I'm not in it anymore?
I think, I'm pretty sure Rishikesh, I knew I needed to get out, but I still couldn't figure out how. Because I was just so deep into it that I didn't know how to really walk away from it. Then I think when it happened at his friend's house again, was around the time that, because his roommates saw, that was one of those ugly experiences where, like, it got really bad. There was a lot of like dragging me across the floor, and like, you know, he slapped me, and I slapped him too. It started off with like we were drinking, and I think I said something, and he pushed me onto the wall really hard. And whenever he would do that, I would just shut up, because I didn't know how to really handle it after that. When it get like, I think we tend to like get really scared when something like that happens. Where I would probably be like shivering, and I would stop saying whatever I'm saying. Before that, I would argue and I would fight, and then I would stop. The second time that it happened in front of someone else, where I felt like this wasn't okay. Earlier, I used to just cry and be like, you know, I can't believe I bring out this horrible
Monster
person in him.
Mm.
Like, how everyone loves him. I must be like really shit for this to happen.
So blaming yourself again.
Always. Still there was a third person who saw. And when he saw it, like, you know, he was just like, this isn't okay. And I was just like, yeah, this isn't okay. He can't constantly treat me like this. I was really pissed off. That was the first time in my life I've probably raised my hands on someone. I walked into the bedroom where he was lying down, and I slapped him. And he got up and he slapped me really hard, and I fell on the floor. And then he dragged me through the house to the door where his best friend tried to stop him, and he pushed him. The roommates came out and stopped him, and I think that was when I knew it was over. It had to end. The whole thing's just been really hard to talk about, because obviously my mom never knew everything that was happening. My brother didn't. Both of them called me up when they read the blog, and like my mom was in tears, because she knew him really well. You know, he's the guy that walked up to my mother the second or third time he met her, and like took her hand and said, "You never have to worry about my daughter, like your daughter again. She's my responsibility now. I'm going to marry her. You don't know what you've like given birth to. She's so wonderful." So for her, she felt like she'd failed somewhere as a parent. If I could put myself through all of that and not come out and speak to someone.